Hello, and welcome to Rosalora. If this is your first time joining us, then it's wonderful to see you. And if you're returning, then it's so lovely to see you again. My name is Rosa, I'm a digital artist, and today I'm going to be working on a couple of pieces. Part of me wanted to do something different today, so we're working on a establishing shot, I think you could say, for what I've been working on. The series of pictures you're going to see today are actually part of an ongoing RP that I've been working on with my friend of our two characters, and I felt really inspired by what we've been doing, and so I wanted to put something together. The first image that you can see me putting together here is the figure of a woman walking through a snow-covered, bloody battlefield. And this character's name is Sable Mai. Sable Mai is a rogue. She is a servant of the Raven Queen, and I'm going to start drawing in her figure right here. Sable Mai is the most cleric-y not cleric I have ever played. She's very stoic. She has a very unshakable confidence in the god that she serves, the Raven Queen, and she is very determined in all things. She was in a very small campaign, which was finished, that was ended up calling the Sharp Teeth Gang, which was run by one of my friends. And throughout this campaign, I got to learn a lot about Sable Mai and how she conducts herself in front of others. She's a little secretive, has a small sense of humor about herself, but she's very quiet. She's subdued and has this sort of this aura, this feel of this unshakable confidence. At one point during the mini campaign, when it was posed that, what if we have to go up against something very dangerous, a god of death, another sort of challenge, she simply said that we would do it then. She has a kind of air about herself that me personally, I wish that I had that kind of confidence that she does. In this case, in this RP that we put together, it's been a while since the events of the mini campaign. And Sable Mai, being a servant of the Raven Queen, will sometimes act as a shepherd to take people into the Mother's arms. She got to do this during the mini campaign where we worked together as a team to escort a very powerful, very disrupted spirit over to the other side. And now it seems that it is her dear companion, Arduza's turn. Arduza and Sable Mai did not get along. There was something about dear Arduza that Sable Mai just couldn't quite put her finger on, but she had a distaste for her uniquely. Arduza didn't have the same reverence for death. She was a bit of a jokester, not quite a prankster, but a bit of a personality, one could say. She was also secretive. She didn't share much, and while Sable herself is also a bit of a secretive individual, there was something about Arduza that she could not abide by. When we entered into a crypt and Arduza revealed herself, more or less to Sable Mai, indirectly or not, of being a little bit more of a grave robber than what she claimed to be, which was an archaeologist, Sable Mai's suspicions were confirmed. The two of them have found each other at odds, but being at odds with each other didn't necessarily mean that they disliked each other, strictly speaking. There was a challenge between the two of them, a feeling that one of them had to blink first. And after this reveal that Arduza was perhaps not all that she not necessarily claimed to be, but that she truly was hiding something and that Sable Mai had the right of it in some form or another, there was a renewed tension between the two of them. And me and my friend have definitely had a lot of fun with that tension. We did a scene where we had them do, more or less a little friendly tete-a-tete. They verbally sparred in the campaign. They have their issues with each other. But Sable Mai has come here, as I mentioned, for a reason. And she's here to escort Arduza, dear Arduza, to the other side. Now, we haven't really specified in the roleplay how exactly Arduza got to this point. Only that she has. She was beloathed of Lolth, I should say, breaking ties with her drow society and instead choosing to become a warlock pact of some unforgiving, terrible god of death, which puts her and Sable Mai at odds with one another. And those missionaries, those individuals sent by Lolth Driders to take her out, have finally somewhat succeeded. So when this RP begins, Arduza is laying on a rock in the middle of a bloody, snowy battlefield, the enemies that she has slain scattered about her. She's almost delirious from a loss of blood, cold stitching up into her, a sign of her patron, Frost, trying to mend wounds that are going to be mortal. And of course, who should show up but that goddamn Sable Mai. And I wanted to capture that in her expression, looking up at Sable, not quite knowing if she's real or pretend, not knowing if she's hallucinating from blood loss or simply experiencing the great displeasure of seeing this old friend from another time and another place. Their dynamic, the way that they mess with each other, the way that they bother each other, and yet this sort of strange respect that they have for each other is a dynamic that I personally find absolutely intoxicating. It was extremely fun to put together these pictures and bring to life this moment that I got to create with my friend narratively. That feeling of looking up and not being sure whether or not it's true, and looking down and knowing that the end is near. I'm going to quiet down and let you enjoy the rest of this paint process. And here we have Sable Mai and Arduza looking at each other. I hope that you enjoyed this speed paint. I had a great time putting it together and telling you a little bit about these characters. Thanks to my patrons who helped me make art, especially Banjo, Confocal Clips, and Diator. If you'd like to join the channel, please hit subscribe, like the video. I'm sure that very soon I'll have a little bit more art coming your way. If you like what I see, you can support what I do as well on Patreon. I'll see you next time. And remember, it's all gonna be okay.